Good morning. So this all glued back together yesterday. So that's how it was. And then this morning, literally just started flipping raining as I've done this video. I've just polished that up, and you've even got a reflection in that. And all I've done is used a tiny bit of teacup, a bit of this liquid compound, and some of that colour magic that I found in the shed. All found in the garage. So it's actually got a shine to it. That doesn't have a shine to it. So I'm going to do the same with this, polish that up, make it look like that. So I didn't need to paint it after all. But it started raining. I'm literally fighting the elements with this bloody van now. It's the beginning of December 2025 and it just does not want to stop raining, and I've got nowhere to do this inside. Well, I could polish this inside, but I've got nowhere to do the rest of the van inside, so I'm literally fighting the elements, and any bit of dry weather I'm trying to get out here, and as soon as I get out here it starts freaking raining. Alright, there you go then. So this one has got a couple of marks on it there and there, but in general I think it looks pretty good. It's got a shine to it. You can see the reflection in there. I've ordered a piece of chrome trim to go in there, like just a piece of self-adhesive chrome trim that you would just sort of use as a side moulding for a car. So I think that'll work. But for a bit of bonding agent, a bit of polish, a little bit of sticky trim, I think that's repaired that. They wanted like 50 quid for a piece for one of these grills. And again, you don't know what condition it's going to be in anyway. It could be damaged either way. So I'm happy to have repaired that. Right, let's go and see if it stops raining. Okay, so that went off all okay yesterday. It's actually come out a lot better than I thought. It hasn't gone, I thought it might be tarnished a little bit where the stuff came through from underneath, but it actually looks all right. But I do think it will want another coat in a week or so's time. But anyway, worry about that later. So this morning I'm going to take off the calipers and just give those a paint up just while I've got it here and I've got nothing much else to do at the moment. I'm going to do that both sides, and then I'm going to, if it has stopped raining, I'm just going to treat this bit just there. This is just showing signs of rust. It's more rust stains than actual rust, because again, like that isn't a hole, it's just like a stone chip. And again on that bit just there, if you can see that, on that bit there, and then just clean up this inside wheel arch and paint that with underseal, and then see if I can paint that near side rear wheel arch with white paint. But it all depends on the weather. Like, it looks bright over there and over there, I don't know, we'll see where it goes, but obviously can't get it in there. This is what I'm working with, by the way. I think I've never seen the inside of my garage. Like, it's just rammed with things, and that is basically my workbench at the moment, because I've got to keep going back into there, walking down the side of that, and I don't really want to keep walking down the side of that with tools. And then obviously you've seen in my garden my workbench there, and my little shed that's got a few bits and bobs in it, but that is going to the tip, all of this for our garden furniture. So once this job's done, and the engine crane is there because the car that is under there needs a new engine, which is in my neighbour's garage over there, which I bought I don't know, a few months ago to drive up to Preston, I think it was, in Lancashire, to go and get that 635 mile round trip, which I did in the trusty Amarok, and it did it on a tank full of fuel. So there's a new engine to go in that. So once this camper van's done, this will be my next project, because that is not finished by any stretch of the imagination. I think if you look on some of my other videos, you'll see what that is if you're interested. But there's an engine to go in that, because the one that's in it is is completely knackered pretty much. So that's going to be the next project on the channel, that thing. Until such time, we're going to continue sorting this old girl out. Alright, so I've got a problem. The Allen key snapped off in there. That's so gripping tight, it's unbelievable. The Allen key snapped off. So now I've got to undo the main carrier on those two down the bottom there to get that off, and then try and maybe drill that out or something. But guess what? It's freaking raining. But I got that off. Two massive bolts, obviously. There. Two massive bolts. And that, and you can see that is snapped off in there. So, I'm not quite sure how that all goes together, really. Whether I can unscrew that, maybe. Whether that's seized inside that, I don't know. Because that's the bolt that came out the other one. So I got it off there, okay. I just hung this caliper up there. So I'll have to see if I can get another bolt for that before I start messing around too much with it. But I suppose it's not drastic because it will go back together. It would just make it very awkward to change the pads next time. But let's see what I can do, see if I can get that bolt out, or see if I can get another bolt to start with, and then go from there. It literally never rains but it pours. Look at it. Today was supposed to be sunny. Alright, so I've got that bit in the vise now. So I've got to get that off of that, so I'm hoping I might be able to put a pair of mole grips on this bit and just twist that off. I found a fitting kit, I bought a fitting kit which looks like it, well, which comes with this sleeved part and the bolts. £10 on Amazon. So hopefully I'll be able to get that off of there, because I don't know whether it's, this was seized, this bolt's seized. The other bolt was chewed up, so I've got an Allen, obviously an Allen head in it. The other one was chewed up, and then this one is just the end of the Allen bolts, and Allen keys just snapped clean off inside there. So as I say, put a pair of mole grips on that and see if that actual bolt is seized inside this bit or in there, or what's going to happen. This is probably going to spin, I don't know. Let's just see what happens when I try it. So what I did was just ground the end of that off. There it is. I just ground the end of that off. I think it was stuck in the head part of it. The head was stuck in the outer part of that. Focus on that. Anyway, and that is now, and because I heated it up, it is super tight. It's hot. Oh, it is hot. Hot. Anyway. Come on, so anyway, that's out. Alright, well at least I can get that bit painted. Cars, eh? Well, it's red, so that's going to need another coat, and then once it's all dry I'll obviously just file down the surfaces where the pad goes. But it's red, it looks a lot better than it did. So why am I bothering to paint these red? God only knows, other than the fact that I've got a tin of red brake caliper paint and I've got all the time in the world at the moment because I can't do anything else because it's raining. So, and I haven't got the parts for the other rest of it, so I thought, oh well, do you know what, I'm just going to paint these red. But I found that they're Brembo brakes, which is good, so they might as well be red, mightn't they? Okay, so because the weather is absolutely atrocious outside, needs must, I need to crack on with this. So we've had to revert to the kitchen workshop to do the bumper with a hot air gun. So I've tried it, and it is actually working to a degree. Now, it's not going to be great, I know that. I can always go over it with something afterwards, and people do say peanut butter. So what I thought is to try this first, get some of the colour back to it, and then back to black, peanut butter, whatever, on top of that. But anyway, it does work. That I'll show you. But it is slow process. It is slow going. Got to get a bit of heat in it to start with. Once you get the heat in it, but you can't get too close to it because it'll actually melt the plastic. But it does work. I'll try and get that bit at the bottom.
This is easy to see where you've been.
Yeah. Anyway, you get the idea. So it is working. I mean, hard to say whether this looks better on camera or actually in real life, but it does look better. But it's better than being grey.
Yeah, it'll make much difference.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll make a lot of difference there. So, but it's going to take a long time. But it's what night is it? Wednesday.
Wednesday night. Yeah.
So Wednesday night, I'm a Celebrity is on for another 55 minutes. So let's see how much we can get done before I'm a Celeb starts. So we've done between us pretty much all of it. It's come out alright, to be fair. Okay, let's just doing the last little bits now. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing this in your kitchen, to be fair. It's probably not a good idea. But we didn't have to have the heating on tonight.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Yeah, don't try this at home.
So you won't earn your Blue Peter badge.
Yeah, just there. Don't try this at home. Everything was done by trained professionals.
Speak for yourself.
Right, come on, mate. We've just got that little bit to do.
Done.
Yeah, look at that. Saved from landfill. Saved from the scrap heap. Recycled. Look at that. Now, obviously the original bumper that come off the van went to the scrap heap, but it went in the recycling bin up there. So, and this would have just gone for scrap eventually, so why buy a new one when you can spend half an hour
Blow torching
it with a heat gun? So, I think that'd be alright. It's a bloody undersigned, better than it was, isn't it? Then I think the old peanut butter trick that people say about on there as well. I think that's going to look like a new bumper. Anyway, there we go. We had to get something done today because the weather was just against me. Anyway, au revoir for now. Good morning. So, the rain has gone away. It is now Friday. So I've started painting these calipers. I've taken them apart. Obviously I had problems with that driver's side one getting off because it was seized. Or the slider, the bolt in the slider was seized. This one's come undone much better. These are the bolts that were the problem. That one and where the other one is, don't know, but I've got two new ones anyway, so it doesn't matter. So these were the bolts that were the problem. They go through there, like that, and then it was seized in this slider. Seized in the end of that. Somehow, not quite sure, but something had happened. It would not come undone, and it snapped the, well, something was seized, I don't know where it was seized, but anyway, it snapped the Allen key. I had to heat it up, get it all apart, and then I ended up cutting that. I'd slide it out, and then the bolt was still stuck inside it. Still stuck inside the, in this bit. Anyway, got all that out, no problem at all. With an oil grinder and some heat. Ordered some new ones, so they should turn up today, hopefully, or tomorrow. Anyway, so I've started painting the other caliper. That looks okay so far, although it's not as red as I hoped it to be, but there you go. So I've started taking this one apart, obviously, only to fight the other brake pads, by the way, on the other side were fine. They were worn, but they were worn similar sort of thickness to this, so they're still a good few thousand miles left on them. I thought, oh, that'll be fine, I'll leave it till the summer and I'll do new set of pads on it in the summer. However, taken this side apart, and I don't know if you can see that, but they have started to disintegrate, completely disintegrate. This one's a lot worse. Now, someone in their infinite wisdom has coated so much copper. Now, I do like copper slip, don't get me wrong, but they've got copper slip everywhere. Like, it's literally everywhere. It's almost on the face of the pad. It's all over the caliper. It's all over this. The caliper holder here, it's everywhere. It's really thick. Anyway, and it looks like, I would say, that this caliper at some point has had a problem with being seized, and it's literally, that is heat damage. So those pads have overheated, this one especially. This pad has overheated. This is the one that obviously goes on the, actually goes against the two pistons. It's a 2-pot caliper. This one's overheated. So all of these pads now are toast. They're done for. So I will need to get a new set of pads now, which is not an issue because they're readily available. They're not massively expensive. But yeah, look, that's massively overheated. and it's just started to disintegrate. Now obviously this has nothing to do with the crash that the vehicle's had. Could it have contributed to the crash? The braking efficiency wasn't great. I don't know, it's only just at an MOT, so it obviously went through the threshold for the brake on the brake tester. But anyway, it's going to need a set of pads. So new set of pads, freshly painted calipers, and then all this lubed up and new bolts and sliders. And also I've noticed that this anti-rattle shim thing is also missing on the other caliper, which should come with a set of pads. So basically almost a front brake overhaul, apart from obviously the calipers. I shall, when you put the new pads in, obviously you've got to push the pistons back, so that will see if they're seized. But the wheels rotated freely, so it's not seized now. But in the past, obviously that's, I don't think it's not a new caliper. It's not had the caliper changed, but it's obviously been freed off, presumably just for being stood. See, it's only done 47,000 miles, and it's nearly 20 years old, this van. So it's obviously been stood for extended periods of time. So I would say that that's probably seized up at some point, and they freed it off, which is fine. But it has cooked the pads. Anyway, so I shall now order a new set of pads. But it doesn't matter because I still haven't got the wings back. But I have got new bonnet hinges in the van, so that's handy. Alrighty then, so brake calipers painted red. There's the other bit hanging on there. Bungs back in there, and I've repainted the end of the subframe black. So that's all done both sides. Oh, kicked over there. So they're red. They're not as red as I wanted them to be, but there you go. Well, that's back in there and painted there. And I've even put a bit of paint on that. It's a bit pointless to be fair, but there you go. And just need to order a set of pads now. But it's coming together. It's looking better. It's just tidier. It has no effect on anything other than the fact it just looks a bit tidier. I really wanted that red paint there to match that red paint there, to be fair. It's a bit lighter than I thought, but oh well. Anyway, let's get under the back of the van now and just finish that wheel arch on this side. Just get some paint on that one, and then I think that'll be done for today. I've still got to get around to doing this other side yet, but just haven't had a chance to get on it. I might be able to just get some of that rust converter on there today, but I still haven't had a chance to get under there with the underseal. Anyway, we're getting there. We are getting somewhere. Still waiting for the panels. Alright, so I've given that a coat of white paint. It will need going over again, but problem is where you catch, I did undercoat it with some white spray paint. However, there are little bits you just catch on the black, and then it gets in the paint, and then it just comes out brown basically. But I mean, it looks okay and it'll go off okay, but it really could do with another coat on there. And I'm running out of paint as well, and I really want to get the other wheel arch done using the same can, because the can of white paint is not quite as white as it was. So if I can get all of this basically undercoated with this white paint from that one can, and then when I go over it with a new can or tin, then it'll be whiter. But at the moment there's little bits of this that are sort of tainted a different colour, but anyway, it looks a lot better than it did. And then I'll go over this once I finish painting all that white, because I'm putting on quite a lot. It's just dripping down on everything, and it's the big bugger the master. So I'll finish off painting that, and I'll probably jet wash all this off, and then tidy all that up with some black paint. But that'll be for another few weeks time yet, because that really needs to go off now. And then I can do it, tidy it right up. But anyway, wheels going back on, and then what day is it today? Friday. Well, we're going to France tomorrow and Belgium for the Christmas markets, so I won't get anything done on this now until Monday obviously at the earliest. Let's hope the weather's okay, but by then the pads may well have turned up, so I can get all the front back together, and then also the guy hopefully might ring me on Monday or Tuesday to say that the panels are done. Anyway, I will bid you au revoir.